Hey guys, I am here today, with my dog. There you go, you can see her. It's very hard to see her. You'll see her more in a minute. But this is Yebo, and I'm here with her to demonstrate some energetics of behavior with you guys. And she may be crying the whole time. We've been out here for a long time because I just did a video in another group and she's kind of done with it. That's okay. We're going to do it again anyway. She'll survive. So today I'm going to talk about and demonstrate with my dog a behavioral principle that I call first do nothing. And this is something that both predator and prey animals naturally learn in nature, but gets messed up when we have them in our homes and as our pets. It tends to get messed up, and it's something that humans have lost touch with. So we're going to talk about this today and demonstrate it today. So first do nothing is a principle in nature that basically says the less I do, the more I get. And predators, the gnats are coming out, wonderful. Predators learn this. It's a natural thing that they learn because they're hunting. And they learn that if they just leap at any movement in nature, they expend all of their energy and they get very little back for it. And this is really conservation of energy. It's the energy moves according to the laws of physics. All energy, including emotional energy. Emotional is energy in motion. And the conservation of energy, that law in physics, says that there is a finite amount of energy in a system. So the system would be like the dog and the environment, or the dog and the moose, the dog and myself. Just the dog and whatever they're interacting with would be a system. And there's a finite amount of energy in it, and energy is not created or destroyed. It cannot be. It just changes forms. So if they're just sending off energy into the space, into the atmosphere of the system, then it's not available for them now to use to get the prey, to get food, to get what they needed to survive. So it's not a very wise thing. So this works out really well in nature. They quickly learn that expending energy randomly gives them no reward, but if when they see the rabbit, for instance, if their first response, first do nothing, is to crouch and collect, even if it's only for a split second, and then make the right move to get the animal, they get a high level of reward because they get the rabbit. Not always, but they get enough reward that it works. So they learn very quickly, the less I do, the more I get. And that's the difference between, pups like wolf pups and a seasoned hunter wolf. The pups would not survive on their own. Their mothers have to feed them. And I'm talking about beyond the time where they're drinking milk. So they're eating meat. They have to be fed because they chase everything, little bugs and little leaves, and there's this expending energy all the time. Hi, Linnea, cool. And getting beyond fun, getting very little reward for it, right? Survival type reward. But the seasoned hunter, their mother or their father, knows first do nothing. They sit, they wait, they collect, they connect with their center so they know where it is, so that they have the best possible chance of getting the prey. And this is true for both predators and prey animals. Prey animals also learn this exact same response for the same reason naturally. So if a prey animal senses potential danger, they have a clue that there may be danger, think about their first response. Now, if you live in the city, don't think of deer in the headlights. That's a different response that I can talk about some other time. But think of movies you've watched or video clips or things like that with, predator and prey. And when the prey animals, when the herd of zebra or the herd of moose or even the rabbit has a sense that there may be danger, what is the first thing that they do? Always, always, always. They drop. They may raise their head, but their center drops. Their body drops, and they go into a heightened state of awareness. Heightened sight, heightened hearing, heightened smell, heightened feel of the vibrations. And depending on the scenario, it may be a long time, it may be a split second before they go, but always the first response is first do nothing. And it's a drop in the center, although the head may raise to get better sight, farther sight, but the center drops. Exact same thing. Predator and prey do the exact same thing. Because again, if a prey animal took off running every time they heard a sound or saw a movement or smelled something, they would expend all of their energy. They would expend more energy than they get grazing, right? So it's just not a wise thing in nature. So when things are behaving in alignment with nature, which they have to when they're out in nature, they automatically learn this principle of first do nothing. The less I do, the more I get. Humans, with their willpower, can do a lot of different things. So when we bring these animals into us to live like the humans, with the humans, and as a human animal, we've really lost touch with our animal part. I really talked about this yesterday. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago in the video about bonding with an animal. The desire to bond is the desire to live energetically. So we've really lost touch with a lot of those natural energetics, and we're living in our head, and so we're not behaving in the automatic way of nature. So we tend to, in nature, if the dog lurched for something prematurely, they would lose it, and so they quickly learn not to do that. In human society, they lurch and we give it to them, right? So they learn to be even more random, even more crazy, even more fast and loose with their energy, and then we wonder what the problem is. And it's because we're not operating in alignment with the principles in nature. So when you start understanding that and you behave more in a natural alignment with your dog, you'll find that they will naturally collect, naturally ground, naturally sit under situations of higher interest, higher stress. All those times when you want them to do that, they would do it automatically if we didn't mess that up. And also think about ourselves, because we're the animal that's lost touch with our animal part, but we're still operating on these energetic principles. So we're kind of like the little puppy, just running after everything, every shiny object and everything going on, and not getting a lot in exchange for it. But what I'm going to do is show you what it looks like. I love bringing animals into all of this. Now my training that I do with people is incorporating animals, their own dogs, their own horses, or if they don't have their own, videos, watching a lot of videos of that, going to the park, going to the dog parks, just encountering these animals, but looking at them with new eyes, new understanding. So I'm going to step back a ways. I hope you can hear me and see me, because she's low to the ground. And what I want you to witness is her automatic stillness or automatic sit. This dog does not know the word sit. You can say it a million times. It means nothing to her. I don't like to teach verbal commands for things. I might be a little extreme in that because I study the energetics in depth, but I don't want the verbal command because I want to know that she's behaving off of my energy, that we're energetically connected. I don't want to have her do something because she learned it by rote and then have me not exactly be able to tell the difference. So I don't, with very few exceptions, I don't use verbal commands. I do want her to know her name and come when I call her in case she's out of sight. And I do teach her the command free to release her from connecting with me and just say, just go do whatever you want and we're done. But other than that, I really don't use verbal commands. I just want her behaving according to the natural energy flow. So what I'm going to do is just, I'm using food as a stimulus, and I want you to see how when the food starts disappearing, her automatic response is, oh, I better drop, I better collect, I better get in touch because I want to get what I want. I want to actually succeed in it. So she's very interested in other things right now and really bored with me doing these videos. So we'll see what happens. I may not be able to do it off leash. I'm just going to go with what energy I have. So I'll be right back. I'm going to step away. Okay, I really hope you can see her. Oh my goodness, she's already doing it. So she was crying, whining, and moving around when I was talking. And the second that she had food that she may get, what did she do? She just collected, she sat, she got quiet, she got centered, she got grounded. She wanted to get the prey. I'm going to just, whoops, she didn't see that. Just send her off, and then, did you see that? Her automatic response. I move my hand and boom, right? Beautiful. Papa. I'm going to give her a reward for, just as in nature, they get, not all the time, but much of the time, they get a big reward when that was their first response, is to collect. I'll do one more thing. She loves to play catch with her food. So I'm going to kind of show her that we're going to do this catch game and see what her first response is. I dropped a piece of food and she's finding it right now. Okay, so she knows I'm going to play catch. Did you see that? She started going for it because I tricked her and I was like the prey. I started going and she was going to catch it, but then the prey started getting away, and so she collected. Now I'm kind of messing it up because I'm talking while I'm doing this. Did you see that? She was already sitting, but then I got ready to throw it and she crouched in further. She went in further. That's always the automatic response. That's what happens in nature, both predator and prey. So imagine if we started working with our dogs that way all the time, started utilizing that principle. As they get more channeled and more grounded and build more strength in that, their automatic response to higher and higher levels of intensity of energy going on is to calm and collect, right? Which is the opposite of what happens normally with dogs. So when you learn to work on these principles of energy, it works much, much, much better when you're working with your animal. And then when you use the animal to make the energetic principles visible to you so you can better understand them and get in touch with them, and you start feeling with the dog and understanding that, you start feeling yourself behaving just like the dog. You start feeling when you're the puppy just lurching after everything. You're probably not going to get a lot of reward, which is okay if you're just playing sometimes, but it's not a good way to live your life. Or you start feeling like, oh, I was the wolf that got the moose, right? What we're wanting, how this principle works, is she's laying down right now. So she sat, and then she went even further grounded and laid down, right? So I just gave her the reward for like really centering and grounding. So the goal always is to merge with what we want. And there are two ways of merging with it. One is to come into alignment and move in alignment with whatever we want, whether it's our goal in life or a person or just a challenge at the moment, or to ingest it, which would be complete merging with whatever our desire was. So if it was the wolf desiring the moose, and then they ingest it. But in either case, your center needs to move effectively to or with the center of the thing that you desire. And the only way to be able to track that movement is to collect, to ground, to get in touch, to have a heightened awareness of your center, because that's how we move. Our limbs move off of that center. So to have success merging with what we desire requires that first do nothing, that stillness, that, I need to really connect with who I am, what I'm about, what's going to happen, what is the environment, what's going on around me. It's to connect and then act. And like I said, it can be a split second, it can be a long period of time. It could be, if you're looking at a macro scale, it could be years of your life, right? But it doesn't matter the time, it just matters that it happens. First, do nothing. It's a beautiful principle to learn. It's wonderful to learn it from the animals. That's what I was talking about yesterday. But we are an animal, and the exact same thing is going on in us all the time, regardless of the thoughts that we add on top of it all. This is the principles of energy that are always happening. So when you start feeling it, like the animals feel it, and have an awareness that keeps your mind happy about it, and connected and whole, you feel very whole, but you feel very aligned, and you become very successful, like the successful wolf who lives a long time in a wolf type satisfied state, and gets its moose and gets the other things in life that make life for the wolf, make it able to live fully as the wolf that it is. Okay, I hope that helped, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.